What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and we are back here today for another deck profile, of course, post-ban list, and it is for ABC. So once again, we're doing another deck profile for a card that should never have been on the ban list, coming off the ban list, so now we can finally show off the list again. Now that actually, yeah, this is actually the first time we've had 3 Dragon Buster since, like, MR5 started, so it'll have hopefully a lot of room to grow with everything coming through in the future. But as always, before we do get started, please remember to drop down below and hit that subscribe button if you are new here, because we are always happy to have new people to the channel. And of course, let's get on into this deck profile. Okay, so first off, starting us off, we have 3 copies of a Assault Core, well off shot on the camera there, apologies for that. But yeah, we got 3 copies of a Assault Core. Overall, just a solid normal summon. You do typically need like ABC names now that you have 3 Dragon Buster to play with. So you want to be like using them, throwing them around as much as possible, because you don't have to worry about wasting your Dragon Busters anymore. Then we've got 2 copies of B Buster Drake. Adds a Union monster from deck to hand when it's sent to grave, from field to grave. Make sure you remember that part, ABC players. But yeah, props that off. Good card again. Then we've got 3 copies of the Sea Crush. I'm cheating because you can't check my hand and verify Mind Crush Wyvern. That's why it's called Crush Wyvern, is because Mind Crush ruling allows people to cheat. Don't cheat. Don't be a scumbag ABC player. But yeah, we have 3 copies of this as well, just trying to max out those ratios just so we can resolve the the Buster Dragon as much as possible. Also helps us like dodge around like weird interactions. Then we've got 2 copies of Union Driver. I don't have a copy of Photon Orbital, otherwise I would just play a 1-1 ratio of that. Instead, we have the 2 copies of Union Driver. In the end of January, when the Photon Orbital gets reprinted, switch this out for a copy of Photon Orbital because it will be significantly cheaper and it opens up a whole lot more plays for the deck. Next off, we've got 3 copies of hopefully your primary normal summon in Gold Gadget. Sorry, that's 2 copies if I said 3. And then 2 copies as well of Silver Gadget. They are your primary normal summons. You want to hopefully have them and a B, or C piece in the graveyard. Oh, sorry, in the hand, sorry. So you normal summon one, special summon the other, gets your plays going. Then we've got 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier, just because you're not clogging your extra link zone, your extra monster zone anymore because you don't have to summon there. So yeah, we've got 3 copies of the Galaxy Soldier. You're playing a whole bunch of lights, so you just want to resolve an infinity on top of your standard plays as much as you can. 3 copies of Photon Thrasher, follow that up. Just a solid like free summon, gets you a light on field, also level 4, can help you play. Then we've got 3 copies of Ash as your primary hand trap. You can switch this to whatever you would normally flavor for your like locals and stuff like that. Then we've got 1 copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon and 1 Dark Magician. You do play Dragoon in this list. Like, you'd be silly to not play Dragoon in this list because it is so free. So we do have the 1 copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon and the 1 Dark Magician. Then next off, we've got the spells. It's 3 copies of Union Carrier starting us off. You want to open this as much as you can because it's just so free. Like, the combos that this card facilitates is the reason why Terraforming probably went to like lower than 3 in the first place, because they just for some reason were dodging hitting all these broken field spell cards they were printing 3-4 years ago, and instead they just hit Terraforming. So perpetrator of that, sorry, Union Carrier is the reason why we can only play 1 Terraforming. If only in the world you can play 3-3. They could be broken. Then we've got another flex spot. Pretty much the rest of this deck is flex spots, as we've got 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets. You will, given that you're using like ABC, when you tag out your Buster, you do have like free stuff on board. You will typically use some of them for IP Masquerena to go into an Appaloosa, but you can sometimes have some stray stuff floating around. You just use droplets on that, get that free negation as well. 3 copies of Talents follow that up. This is probably the least necessary card in the deck. Just the fact that it gets you the free draw 2 if you get ripped, or like if you can play through it anyway, you just look at their hand, away you go. Then we've got 1 copy of Red Eyes Fusion as well to get you into that Dragoon. Of course, you do need to play the 3 Garnets. Then we've got 3 copies of Imperm, as always, to round out the main deck. Next off, we have the extra deck, and of course, he is back at 3, so we are playing 3, and that is 3 copies of ABC Dragon Buster. The fact that you can just freely throw this card around now and not have to stress about like running out of resources on turn 2 is so good. The fact that you just tag out, summon 3 back, IP Masquerena after using your negate is crazy. In this situation where you can end on like this IP and your Dragoon, it is like absolutely absurd because you just like spin this out after using its negate, get you the resources, IP into an Appaloosa, then you get resources back to your hand, so then you can like start using the Dragoon negate as well if you've like run out of resources. This card facilitates so much in this deck when you can just freely use it and not have to worry. Of course, a well-placed Kaiju will always ruin your day, but hey, you at least have 2 things they need to Kaiju. Then we've got a bunch of Link 2s here. So we've got 1 copy of Verte Anaconda, because you need it to get into your Dragoon. Then we've got 1 copy of Platinum Gadget. Then following that up, we have, of course, 1 copy of Cross Sheep. I believe this card triggers to summon the level 4 from grave when you summon the Buster. So hopefully you've gone through the situation where you've used like a Silver Gadget or a Gold Gadget to get your Cross Sheep. Gets you that free summon back from grave. Then we've got 1 copy of IP because you will need it to make up the... You'll use that to make up your Appaloosa. Then we have, of course, 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, because if you do decide to use this, you can get that free shuffle. 1 copy of Access Code Talker, because Access Code Talker is good at finishing game. Then we've got, of course, 1 copy of Appaloosa as well. This is your primary like monster negate thing that you make off your IP Masquerena. Then, because we are playing the package including Galaxy Soldier, that's it. We've got 1 copy of Nova and 1 copy of Infinity. Just kind of free stuff that you can make. Of course, as well, you can use the Nova if you're playing against... what's the deck called? Where you... I'm striking a complete blank here today. Apologies. If you get Maximist, you can send the Nova. Nova can then, of course, get you into your Dragon Buster if you want to go that way. Except this says must first be fusion summoned. Completely ignore what I just said. That would be considered what we say in the business cheating, and cheating is bad. And you're an ABC player, so people are already sus of you. Having those targets for C in hand. So, like, be careful. Don't cheat. ABC players, everyone's watching us. Then, of course, we've got 1 copy of Tornado Dragon. You're going to be making so many rank 4s that, like, using the Tornado Dragon can be necessary in some matchups. We have 1 Gigant X, just because the Gigant X is, like, pretty necessary in the situations where you need to, like, search specific things out of your deck. Also, I got a secret rare, so it's like, yeah, free secret rare. And then rounding out the main deck, we have, of course... rounding out the extra deck, we have 1 copy of Red Eyes Dragoon. But that will wrap us up here for the deck profile for this one. So as always, like I always do say, please remember to comment down below any changes that you would make to the list personally. I do think there is room to grow. The flex spots can definitely be fleshed out into some like better options. Also, yeah, of course, the 1 Photon Orbital is like really, really nutty in this deck. So if you have that, play it. If not, end of January, pick up your reprints. And as always, I've been Ben from NolanTCG, and have a good afternoon, everybody.